Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have seen in the 9th verse, we have seen how the Lord declares Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam Divyam Alaukikam. Alaukikam, otherworldly, divine. Divine is my birth, divine are my works in the world. And the one who knows this is myself alone. Little more discussion is needed here. The knower of Bhagavan is Bhagavan. And here Bhagavan in the form of the avatara is not what is being alluded to. Avatara is nice to relate to. Who doesn't like baby Krishna raise their hands? Nobody will raise their hands because he is universally loved. So cute, and in the tradition there are many forms of bhakti that are allowed, such as what? Vatsalya bhakti. Krishna is not just you. Sometimes you say Tvameva Mata Cha Pita. You are mother and father. Okay, wonderful. That is there in many traditions. But then here, you are my baby. And the mother feels a certain happiness holding the baby. Are you eating mud? No. It says, Krishna says with a very innocent look, who, me? No. What is mud? I don't know anything. Open your mouth. And she has a better view of the galaxy than the James Webb telescope. Never mind, close your mouth. She sees the whole cosmos. So she feels good. There is a certain play there, and she feels good buzzing over Bhagavan. That is a form of bhakti. Sakha bhakti, you are my friend. And like Mirabai said, you are my husband. So many Navavidha bhakti, Dasya bhakti, I am your servant. All these kinds of bhavanas are there, and these kinds of bhakti are emphasized. And the bhakti is all wonderful, but then again, there is a caveat based on our study of the Srimad Bhagavatam and other texts to not get attached to the form of Bhagavan. Why? Because Bhagavan is essentially formless. We are relating to the Swarupa Lakshana. There is no relationship to the Swarupa Lakshana other than through the knowledge I am that alone. That's the only relationship. What other relationship can be there? That's all there is. So therefore, the one who is able to, in one's lifetime, graduate from dealing with Mr. Krishna to understanding what Krishna is, that which Krishna is, the Krishna principle, so to speak, the Satchid Ananda in the form of Krishna. The Dharma which was embodied by Rama in the form of Ishvara, Rama is seen as an embodiment of Dharma. Krishna is seen as an embodiment of Ananda, Ananda Swarupa. So that's why when a Bharatanatyam dancer depicts Rama, how does she? She becomes very straight. She walks like this. She holds her body very, very straight. And when she depicts Krishna, like all three bends come. One bend here, another bend there, like this. Because the Ananda is in the form of a lahari. It is in the form of a wave. There is nothing straight about Ananda. There is nothing straight about Krishna either. These are all just for the sake of having that bhakti arise in the heart, but that bhakti is fulfilled only when it leads to mukti, and that mukti is only via knowledge. The avatara is there to enjoy, but not to think of the form and name as the ultimate. And so, yo mam vedti tattvataha means the one who knows me for sure, completely, totally, means that the one who knows me as ajaha, avyayaha, satchidananda lakshanaha, one who knows me naturally knows themselves, because there is only that alone, there is only one Satchidananda that happens to be me, that is not separate from the what is called the Jiva. Jiva is Ishvara, the one who knows, is freed of all difficulties and sorrows. So then, if this much is understood, we can go further. 10th verse. Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha
Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha
Manmaya mamupashritaha
Manmaya mamupashritaha
Bahavo jnana tapasa
Bahavo jnana tapasa
Elaborating further on these kinds of people who have been liberated by knowing the truth of the avatara as the truth of themselves, the Lord says the following. Who are these people? They are qualified by 3 words. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. And then, what is the subject of the sentence? Bahavaha. They are not just one. Many are there. Many people, several people. What do? Who are they? Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha. We have come across this particular expression. Vitaraga bhaya krodhaha. Upanishad perhaps?
No.
No? Sure? 2nd chapter, 56th verse. Dukkheshvanudvigna manaha sukheshu vigata spruhaha vitaraga bhaya krodhaha stitadhir muniruchyate. Right here. Vita means vigataha, vigataha, ragascha, veshascha, krodhascha, bhayascha, yasmat. From whom vigataha have departed ragadvesha, bhaya, krodha. What is ragadvesha? We know. Strong preferences, prejudices. What is bhaya? Fear, anxiety, stress. And then finally what is? Krodha, anger. These are the ingredients of the soup of samsara. If you want to make samsara soup and then fall into it, okay, that's what happens. So you may want to make samsara soup, a little bit of bhaya, lot of krodha, little bit of raga, dvesha, you put a dash of raga, dvesha, soup is ready. These are the ingredients of samsara. And then they lead to the soup of sorrow, sorrowful soup. You cry into it as you are drinking it. That is the kind of soup here. And then you find yourself in the soup. No, you are the soup. That is the mistake. And that mistake has to be corrected. In the 2nd chapter, we saw the Jnani Lakshana. In that section, in the 56th what is that verse? In the 56th verse of the 2nd chapter, we saw this particular expression. Who are the Jnanis? Dukkheshu anudvigna manaha. The ones who are unaffected in the time of difficulties, any kind of difficulties, they are unafflicted. And then Sukheshu, when there is happiness, Vigata Sprihaha, They don't have the longing to want to make that experience longer and longer. They're not attached to the experience of Sukha because they know themselves as a manifestation of Sukha. And then the one who have conquered and who are beyond anger, raga, dvesha, bhaya and krodha. Anger, raga, dvesha, preferences, prejudices, anxiety, fear, etc. Same compound is here. That means who? Jnanis. Because the Jnani Lakshana was described as Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. Here it is starting with that compound. Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. And who are these people who have conquered all these difficult things in samsara? Manmayaha. Maya means full of. Full of what? Matmayaha, Manmayaha, full of me. Usually the jiva is full of himself, herself. Right? So when we talk of who is the jiva, oh, this person is so conceited, so proud, they are full of themselves. But here they are filled with Bhagavan. How are you filled with Bhagavan? You are absorbed in Bhagavan. But then how do you get absorbed in Bhagavan? Through jnanam. This is what is going to be talked about in the next line. So right now they are just absorbed in me. Not that they are thinking God, God, God. Every thought is God. God is not a matter to be enclosed in a thought. If you try to enclose God in a thought, then that won't work because whatever you are thinking of is not God. It's just plain odd. That's all. God is not a product of thought. It's not enclosed in a thought. So that the thinker, the truth of the thinker, the truth of the thought, the truth of the process of thinking, that which upholds everything without being any one thing, that is what we call Bhagavan, Ishvara, God. So people who know, regardless of what I do, regardless of where I go, every thought, whatever it falls on, is Bhagavan alone. So Panditaha Samadarshinaha, 6th chapter is going to tell us in a little while when we study that. So the people who are really jnanis have equanimity. Why? Because they see Bhagavan everywhere in everything. And so where do they see Bhagavan? They see Bhagavan in dog. Shunihi means dog. So they don't say, oh, this is dog, it can't be God. They see Bhagavan in dog. Not only they see Bhagavan in dog, there is someone who is called Shvapak. Shvapak means the one who cooks and eats the dog. Even in that person, the person sees Bhagavan. Shunishchaiva Shvapakascha Patitaha Samadarshina. Even the one who cooks the dog and eats, the jnani is able to see that also as Bhagavan. And so here, Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha, we know that Manmayaha, they see me everywhere, they see me in everything. They don't see the world as separate from me. They don't see themselves as separate from the world. They don't see themselves as separate from me. They see me everywhere in everything. Like that story of the person, of a sadhu who was sleeping in front of a temple with his feet towards the Shiva Linga. The story goes. And then the priest, who was very orthodox, said, "What are you doing? You're sleeping with the feet there. You don't point the feet towards anything that is sacred in the Hindu tradition. Because the feet have walked everywhere and they have gathered dust and everything, so you don't point the feet towards anything sacred and like an altar. So here, right in front of the Shiva Linga, he had spread his feet and he was sleeping. And then the priest got very angry. Priest was very orthodox. He said, "You are doing a great papa. Your feet are pointing towards the linga. Move them." And the old sadhu says, "You move them, I'm tired. I have walked a long way, you only move them." The priest should have taken heed. Okay, there is some trick here somewhere. But the priest was not that that much introspective. He took and moved the feet. So let's say they were at 12 o'clock position, if you imagine the clock, and he put them at 3 o'clock position. Suddenly there was a Shivalinga that came up there. Then he put it in the 6 o'clock position, 9 o'clock position. Wherever he turned the person around like a clock. And wherever the feet pointed, there itself the Shivalinga came. So the priest got a very unplanned Vedanta lesson, number 1. And for having challenged the sadhu, his job became eightfold as hard. Now instead of 1 linga, there were 7 more lingas to attend to do abhishek. And flowers and 108 names and the whole thing. So this is a jnani. Yatra yatra manoyati, tatra tatra savapada pankajam. Wherever the mind goes, O Lord, I see your sacred lotus feet. This is a nice nididhyasana, this is a nice contemplation. Just see the feet of the Lord wherever the mind goes, wherever the mind alights, that's where you see Bhagavan. That is the first step. That is not the ultimate step. Then furthermore there is more growth. Then that particular thing changes to yatra yatra manoyati tatra tatra samadhayah. Wherever the mind goes, there is what? Samadhi. Samadhi means there is resolution. I am what I see. I am not separate from what I relate to. There is a cessation of thinker, seer as a separate entity, because the content of the seer, the content of the seen is one and the same. I have come to know. This is what is called manmaya. Absorbed in me. Absorbed in me doesn't mean think God thoughts. Okay, God. And suddenly you see something, you see non-God. And then the God goes and dog is replaced. Dog is the replacement for God. Not like that. This is what it's meant. That my vision has undergone a revolution. And what kind of a revolution? A revolution of the most subtle variety. It's not that I start to look different or anything. It's a very subtle inner revolution through which wherever my mind rests, I come to a stasis because I am no longer different from what I see. Everything is Bhagavan. So manmayaha means that mam upashritaha, the ones that have totally surrendered and resorted to me. They never start anything without really being in alignment with me, which the regular mortals call as seeking blessings of Bhagavan. But for the jnani, there is no seeker, there is no seeking. The jnani just naturally ensures that whatever works she conducts is already part of Bhagavan's plan. Does not go upsetting the cart. Does not go upsetting the cart in order to make a statement. Very, very beautiful. So this is manmayaha mamupashritaha. Then bahavaha, these people, many of them, how did they get to this place? Jnana tapasa putaha. Bahavo jnana tapasa putaha. Putaha means purified. Putu, purified. Putaha, and purified. So first they were purified by Karma Yoga. How were they purified? They were purified of Raga and Dvesha. Raga Dvesha purification takes place through Karma Yoga. So that is called Antahkarana Shuddhi. It cannot be 100%. Why? Because the Antahkarana is susceptible to these kinds of problems. The problems of Raga, Dvesha, absolutely. Just like the body. You clean the body with soap today and you take a nice bath. Then can you say 3 days later, 3 days ago I took a bath. Why have I to take it again? Especially in the summer months and even in the winter months. So you can't say that. You can't say, why you have to take bath again? I already had one last year. Why should I have one this year also? You can't say that, because that which is prone to get dirty will get dirty. Even for a patient who is lying in the bed, not doing anything, not going out and about in the dust, that body also gets dirty. Why? Because the skin starts to shed. Even for healthy people, skin is shedding. And then there are oil glands, and so the skin glands, oil glands, all these things are there. And so it has to be cleaned off, because that is what is needing to be done. And for the mind there is a soap, special soap. What soap? Harinama. Yeah, the name of the Lord is the soap. So japa is the soap. And then for raga dvesha, for antahkarana shuddhi, karma yoga is the soap. For the mind which is distracted all over the place, japa is the soap. But these two shuddhis are not total. Why? Because that which is getting dirty once is susceptible to getting dirty all the time. Like a copper pot. Copper pot looks totally dark brown. You don't even know it's made of copper. Then what happens afterwards? You don't know it's made of copper. Suddenly you see one small little place where the air has not touched and it looks bright. Then you catch hold of some tamarind or lemon and then you nicely scrub it, rub it, and then it shines. After that, what happens? 2 weeks later, again it starts to develop a tarnish. So the mind is like that, the body is like that. Antakarna is also like that. So the total shuddhi can happen only with Atmajnana, with Karma Yoga, and with what is that, tapas? Only 99.9% shuddhi is possible. But for that last 1%, jnanam or jnana yoga is needed. The pursuit of Atma Jnanam makes it completely pure. How? How? By showing you that there was nothing impure about the Atma to begin with. You were already pure and you didn't know. This is what the Jnana Yoga or the pursuit of Jnana Tapas. It is called a tapas. It's not easy. It's not easy to come to an ashram. It's not easy to pursue the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads. Thousands of distractions are there. And then before there was nothing through the back gate, long back in this ashram. You only had all the distractions from the front gate. Now there is a back gate as well. And then you can go places from the back gate, you can go places from the side, the front gate, all these things. So right outside there are so many distractions. Hard to be focused, hard to just come back to that stasis, which is the person who wants nothing but the knowledge. So forget staying in the ashram, even going to weekly Bhagavad Gita classes, Upanishad classes is very difficult. One has to drive, one has to beat the traffic and get there, come back. And then if it's raining a little bit, immediately the thought comes, why go? And then after the pandemic, we have all become spoiled. Nobody knew the meaning of Zoom before. Corona virus. I call it Corona virus because it introduced a lot of people to Vedanta who would have never had it before. Now everybody Zoom. Everyone is on Zoom. All the Mahatmas come into your room via Zoom. You don't have to go anywhere. So we have become very lazy. And the things we see on Zoom, better not talk about it at all. Yeah. Sometimes people think it's a movie, you know. I see people during the classes, they will be listening and having popcorn, just like you do in a movie. Sometimes two people will be fighting, husband and wife will be yelling and screaming at each other, and in one situation, I attributed it to the stress of the pandemic because they are fine now, thank God. And so in one situation, they were at each other's throats. They were just going like this. I was about to say something. Finally, they suddenly heard something interesting in the class, so they both sat down. And so, like this, Zoom also is not easy. But jnana tapas, it is said. Tapas means the focus should be so complete. It should be like a 1 hour meditation, not a 1 hour class. No matter what the distraction, any noise coming from here, there is just that, like that, what is that called? Blinders, blinkers on the horse. Sometimes they put this in metro areas so that the horse doesn't jump after seeing the truck on this side and the car on this side. So here I put the blinders of non-distraction, and I am able to focus completely and letting the resistance and the fears drop and let the pramana operate upon me. That is, and I do this until there are no more questions, no more doubts, no more vagueness, no more error in my understanding. And that is called jnana tapas. And that gives that last percentage of purification by showing you were never impure in the first place. So it's a step-by-step progression. So first we say mala. Mala means dirt. Dirt in the form of raga dvesha. Raga dvesha is called mala. So to clean mala, we need the soap of karma yoga. Karma yoga is the soap that makes nice bubbles and cleans the raga dvesha. Then we have another problem called vikshepa, distractions. Then the distractions are overcome by the soap called harinama or upasana. Upasana means meditation. So mala is overcome by karma yoga, by the practice of karma yoga. Vikshepa, distractions are overcome by what? Upasana. Upasanayaha phalam nirvikshepa manaha. So the person, he has no distractions. Then finally we have the last problem, which is avarna, the eclipse of atma ajnanam. I don't know who I am. Avarna is dispelled by atma jnanam. So mala by karma yoga, vikshepa conquered by upasana, and then the avarna, not knowing my nature, is overcome by jnanam, atma jnanam. And we have to be careful about this. If you say, oh, I am going to conquer mala by atma jnanam, it will not go. So the first step is mala, raga dvesha. That is the mala, impurity. Raga, dvesha, krodha, kama, all that you can bring. And then the mind is pure. The person has a more or less pure mind, but it refuses to stay, it is all over the place. Then you say, upasana, sit and meditate. Then the meditation conquers the distraction. Then one is ready for this jnana tapas, and by jnana tapas, the avarna, between the separation between myself and the world and Ishvara is all just, totally broken. Very, very beautiful. And so Bhagavad Jnana Tapasaha, Putaha. So this is the one word, Putaha. See how profound it is. Putaha. All this has to be included. And what are these people? What do they get? Madbhavam ashritaha. Bhagavan says. Madbhavam ashritaha. It's not that they attain me. We are so used to hearing, they attain me, they are going to get me. They don't get me. They become of my nature. Madbhava means my svabhava, my swarupa is their swarupa, and they understand that. Putaha Madbhava Vashritaha. So now that completes the discussion of Avataravada, because the Avataravada was incomplete without the Jiva understanding that she himself, herself is Bhagavan, and the one who knows the truth of the Avatara knows Bhagavan is Bhagavan. That oneness was also pointed out. But then why don't people know? Then the next two verses show why people don't know what is the problem. What is the problem? So verses 10 and 11 have showed the result of knowing the Avatara. Okay, and then 9 and 10. 11 and 12 will show why do more people not know this. Why is it that people don't know? Ye yatha mam prapadyante,
Ye yatha mam prapadyante,
tathaiva bhajamyaham,
tamstataiva bhajamyaham,
mama vartmanuvartante,
mama vartmanuvartante,
manushya partha sarvashah,
manushyaः partha sarvashah,
काङ्क्षन्तः कर्मणां सिद्धिं,
काङ्क्षन्तः कर्मणाः सिद्धिम्,
यजन्त इह देवताः,
यजन्त इह देवताः,
क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके,
क्षिप्रं हि मानुषे लोके,
सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा.
सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा.
So Bhagavan says that they don't all gain me and my nature because the setup is not like that. I don't force them to do that because I don't see the people as separate from me. Mama vartma anuvartante. Manushyaha partha sarvashah. This line is going to be repeated later in the chapter. So before we get into this verse, let us see where. Let's see. No, it was in chapter 3, it was repeated. So, where they talk about the leadership. Chapter 3, it was a Yadyadacharati Shreshthah Tattadeve Tarojanaha Sayat Pramanam Kurute Lokastadanu Vartante. There, Mama Vartmanu Vartante Manushya Partha Sarvashah, 23rd. Look at the second line in the 23rd verse of the 3rd chapter. Do you see any similarity? In fact, not just similarity, identical. Identical. Same thing. And so, what is it here? Mama Vartmanu Vartante is repeated to show that no matter what the people are following, they are following me without knowing that they are following me. Mama Vartma, everything is me alone. So supposing if somebody goes to a disco for dancing, instead of coming to a Gita class, for Bhagavan this is not a problem. So perhaps the people in the Gita class will sit in judgment and say, what's wrong with you? Why don't you come study with us? Bhagavan says, no problem. Disco is me, no problem. Disco is me, dance is me. And what is that fellow called who is
DJ.
Huh?
DJ.
JD?
DJ.
Yes. So, DJ, the DJ who mixes everything, that is also me. Everything is me. Then why is this person like that? That is how they are. They haven't yet understood what is the best way to reach me. They have perhaps not understood. They are still going round and round, but the circular shape is also me. That is also me. But then they fall again and again into sorrow, and then what do? Trahimam, they cry out. And then I don't say, hey, you brought this upon yourself. And now you are trahimaming me. What's wrong with you? Don't do this. Get up. I don't say that. As soon as they cry out, I go and lend a hand. And sometimes they say, take me and then put me in a, I want to go abroad. Make me go abroad. Okay, no problem. I send them abroad. I make sure they get their visa to Europe, America, wherever they want to go. I make sure they get it. And then somebody else says that, oh, help me, help me, help me. I want to get married and really wanting to get married right now. I don't say, are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you? I don't say that. I say, sure. What, why don't you study the Veda and see what kind of yajna you want to do and to facilitate and to quicken this marriage. And then I make sure they get married. Then they cry out, oh Lord, I made a mistake. Get me out, let me out. And then I send the help in the form of a very wonderful divorce lawyer. I send the help. Why? Because we are all struggling. They don't know they are seeking me. Therefore, they seek all the other things, but there is no other things. Everything will be in me. I recognize that they are struggling. I recognize that they are confused. I recognize that they are all over the place. I recognize that they are frequently self-contradictory. One minute they say, I want you alone, and next minute they go off, do something somewhere else, and then third minute they come back, and this is what it is. This is how it is. That is why Bhagavan says, I don't need cable TV. I save a lot. Because every jiva is a reality TV channel. I can just look at the person and their life, and it is extremely entertaining. Because they don't take themselves seriously. If they don't take themselves seriously, how can they take the jnana, marga seriously? How can they take knowledge seriously? How can they take the pursuit seriously? I don't know. So, ye yatha means in whatever form, mam prapadyante. Prapadyante, invoke. In whatever form they invoke me, tans tathaiva bhajami aham. Sevayami, I attend to them. I am at their service. Meaning, every prayer in whatever language is sacred, it is a valid way of relating to Bhagavan. And the people who have no other recourse, who are not vitaraga bhaya krodha, they are not manmayaha, they are not mam upashritaha, they are not jnana tapasa udaha, they are not madbhava madakaha. They have to start somewhere. We are looking at the end point in the previous verse, but here at the beginning they are all over the place scattered. Just like the child says, no, I have to play with this. No, it has sharp edges. The mother says, no, you can't play with this. I have to play with this. And then it will hit itself with whatever that is. And then cry. Same thing. They cause themselves lot of harm. They make the wrong choices all the time. But I am what? Asanga. I am Asanga. I help them when they ask, and most of the time, what do? They don't ask. Why don't they ask? Because they think they are the karta. They think they are producing the results of action. And so since they think they are producing the results of action, what do? They continue to keep on thinking that, and then they don't turn towards me at all until they are in total danger, hell. It's like having the emergency number on speed dial on your phone. So these are what is called, later on it will be told, Artha Bhaktaha. 911 Bhaktas, emergency number Bhaktas. Or when everything is going good, they don't even think that there is Bhagavan. When things are falling apart, immediately they go. And if anybody treated us like that, we would not be friends with them in this life. We would absolutely not be friendly with them. What would we do? We would say, you know what, you are going like this and you are coming to me only when you need something. How can you do that? And then they would not, most people would not even give them the time of day. But Arjuna, I am not like that. Whenever they ask, however they ask, whatever they ask for, to the best of my ability, and we have to add one caveat here. What is the caveat? To the best of my ability, and if their prarabdha karma does not thwart it. This is an important caveat. Because one may be praying all right, but then there is previous karma standing in the way that can only be partially neutralized. In other words, it can be mitigated, it cannot be totally neutralized. So even I can't go against my own law of karma. Oh Arjuna, I also cannot go against my own law of karma. So unless their karma is so strong, then I give them whatever they want to the best of the ability. Whatever they want, whatever they ask for, I say, take. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tans tadhaiva bhajami aham. I take care of them. Why? Because that's all they are capable of. These jivas, they just cry like children. They don't know what they want. The child has the same cry. When it is hungry, it cries. When it has tummy pain, colic, it cries. When it needs a nappy change, then also it cries. The mother has to somehow figure out what is it that is wanting. And so in the same way, with like a mother, through the Shruti who is like a mother, I help these people. Because it is not their fault. That they are steeped in Atma Ajnanam is not their fault. That they are taking so much time to understand what is troubling them is also not their fault. It is layers and layers of karma and anubhava. So we don't fault the people for being where they are. This is a reiteration of the 26th verse or something, Na Buddhi, in the 3rd chapter, Na Buddhi Bhedam Janayet Ajnanam Karma Sanginam. What's the number of the verse? 26. Yeah, 26th verse. Na Buddhi Bhedam Janayet. So somebody who is karmatha, meaning totally steeped in karma, this one. So totally steeped in karma, if somebody is, we should not disturb them. Bhagavan tells us not to disturb them. Don't tell them you should be attending Gita classes. What are you doing this for? Then they will stop doing what they are doing and then not attend Gita classes also, and then they will be in limbo. And similarly, just as I have given this advice to you and to the rest of humanity, I don't disturb the people. I don't distribute tickets. Moksha, 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 moksha. Who wants? No. When they come on their own, I give them whatever they want. And alas, what is it they want is given in the next verse. Kamshantah karmanam siddhim.
Kamshantah karmanam siddhim.
Yajanta iha devataha.
Yajanta iha devataha.
Kshipram hi manushe loke.
Kshipram hi manushe loke.
सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा
सिद्धिर्भवति कर्मजा
कर्मणां सिद्धिं काङ्क्षन्तः desiring what? Karmanam siddhim. Siddhi is result of action. Karmana is action. Karmanam of the actions, the results. Desiring at all times what? The result of action. They are all karma phala holics. They only want results of action. So therefore what? Yajante. The A here is elided. Okay? Yajante iha here iha devataha. So devataha yajante. Devata is feminine. Okay? So lata late lataha. Sita site sitaha. Sitam site sitaha. Second case. So plural. So devataha yajante. They invoke, they worship all kinds of deities, functionaries, because we have 33 crore, 33 lakhs, 33,033 devatas, plus more. We can add even more, we don't have a problem with that. So then, they are all, so these people are not able to immediately take care of their mala and vikshepa and come to jnanam. Why? Because they are caught in the spiral, the vortex of karma phala. They are going round and round and round in karma phala. Because of that poor things, they are just trapped in this samsara. And because they are trapped in samsara, they don't know what they want. And because they don't know what they want, they go for the wrong things. And what is the wrong things? Instant gratification. Quick result of karma. So kakshantaha, desiring quick results, focused always on the results of action. They come to me with eyes of and with longing eyes and a mouth that says, give me right now. I want. And then they don't worship me as the one who is the karma phala data. They don't worship me as the one who is in the form of the one who will free them from samsara. They worship me as karma phala data, the giver of the results of action. That's how they know. If I do this, something will come. Give me. Karmanam siddhim kankshantah, desiring the results, kevala karmanam siddhim, desiring only the results of action. They invoke me in the form of various small deities. And then in the Manushya Loka, Manushe Loke, in the world of mortals, Kshipram Bhavati Karmajaha. So in the world of mortal, the results of karma are quickly gained. Siddhi Bhavati. Karmajaha means born of karma. Siddhi means results. So the results of action are quickly gained where? In the world of Manushyas. Because there is devotion. Devotion is given. And then you sit and pray. And then karma phala is quickly gained. Kshipram, quickly. Quickly gained means what? In these people's mind, it is quicker than jnana phala. What is jnana phala? That I am not at all a wanting person. That is jnana phala. And then what is karma phala? I want, please give me. This is karma phala. This is praying for karma phala. Praying for jnana phala is praying for that wanting person to be knocked off in the discovery of the truth that I am all that there is and I am enough. I am essentially a non-demanding, appreciative, non-judgmental, contented person. Therefore, I don't need anything. I am full, I am free, I am limitless. So that is what. So do you want to know that you are a non-wanting person, or do you want to keep fulfilling your wants? Naturally, the first one, the former, not the latter. Because if I keep fulfilling the wants, it is not the way. Because it is not going to help me to know that I am a non-wanting person. Because the more I fulfill the wants, the more I am giving the wants a reality they don't have. All the desires and wants. So it's better to know myself as a non-wanting person, but these people are not there. They are of the firm belief, I am a discrete individual filled with all these wants, and until they are fulfilled, I cannot go anywhere else. This is all my life is. This is what is it? This is exactly what I want. This is what it is. And you, O Lord, have to come. They demand. They demand the results of karma phala. Give me it right now. And then Bhagavad gives, and so for Jnana Phala, to understand that I am not a wanting person, that is not difficult. That also is very quickly accomplished. And there is a very big caveat, a condition, provided adhikaritvam, the qualification is there. If one has viveka, vairagya, shamadama, uparati, titiksha, shraddha, samadhanam, what are all these things? Where have we studied them? Tattva Bodha. Okay, so all these things come in the Tattva Bodha, and the one who is of a relaxed, resolved mind, the one who has understood the limitations of the object of wants, all these things. The one who has vairagya, viveka, focus, shraddha, for such a person, the knowledge is also kshipram. But to gain the qualifications can take lifetimes. Therefore, Arjuna, I don't consider it my business to make them ready for knowledge. Why? Because they are following me no matter what they are following. Eventually they will come to this. Like a river doesn't have to be encouraged. Come this way, this way. The Bay of Bengal is over here. It naturally flows. It may take a long time to go to the ocean, but that is its destination. I am the destination of everybody, no matter what they seek, because everything is me alone. And so I don't disturb them. I let them find their way to me in whichever way, and at whatever time they gain their emotional maturity, I am ready for them with the Guru that they can study from. I am ready for them. They have to be ready, that's all that is there. And so then the next verse, Bhagavan says that therefore in the society there are all kinds of people. There are people ready for this knowledge. There are people that are not ready for this knowledge. And that is why there is a kind of a division in society based on guna. What are gunas? Sattva, rajas, tamas, and the various combinations thereof. And then karma. Karma means what? Actions that the people do. Duties. Based on duties and based on guna, there are divisions not only in the Hindu society, but in every society. In every society. You look at the societies, there will be upper class, lower class, and then middle class. And then you look at some other society, there will be royalty. Royalty, very, blue blood they say. Blue-blooded people on the top. And then what? Red-blooded people at the bottom, I suppose, or everywhere else. And then so there is some hierarchy. In any family also there is hierarchy. And then in any office also there is hierarchy. There will be some important person sitting in a cabin somewhere. And you can't just straight walk into the cabin. 10 people will surround you and say, do you have an appointment? You have to make an appointment. And even to make an appointment, it's not easy. You have to call them, you have to say why you are there, all these things. You have to jump through so many hoops, and then finally you can see them. They are sitting up there, and they are the most paid, and they do the least amount of work, and they get away with lot of holidays. And then there are people who are who are marketing people, and there are people who are PR people, and there are people who are service people. Like this, even in an office, we have gradations. So he says that this kind of a society that was called Varna Dharma, this is something that is there, that is based on guna and karma. A very controversial topic, but let us see what Bhagavan says about this. We have to look at it objectively. This is not, the Varna Dharma must not be translated into, yes, please cast out that word, because it is a legacy of the colonial rule. We don't have that. Secondly, this is not an advocacy of all the ills that have come as a result of this system. The system was functional, if at all, at a certain point in time. We just understand the reason why that system came about, but we don't try to justify the system and say that east or west, that is the best. It is not. It has created so much problems for people. It has created a lot of havoc in the society, and it has created a lot of pain and ills. So we have to be very, very vigilant when we talk about this, because this is not a ratification of this system or these divisions. And also nowhere does Bhagavan say it is based on birth. So these are all distortions that happen because of patriarchy and because of certain other influences. This happened. Any system is only good for a certain time. After that, it has become defunct. It starts to rot. Another system has to come and replace that system. So this system is not being justified here. We are just understanding the typologies of people, not just within this system, but all over the world. This is what the thing is. And so let us chant that verse. Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam,
Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam,
gunakarma vibhagashah,
Gunakarma vibhagashah,
tasya kartaramapi mam,
Tasya kartaramapi mam,
vidhya kartaramavyayam.
Vidya kartaramavyayam.
So this fourfold classification, maya srishtam, you can say that it was created by me. And as soon as you take up a stone to hit Bhagavan, where are you? Come here, let me get you. How can you make this kind of a system? What were you thinking? How could you do this to us? And Bhagavan quickly says, akartaram avyayam. I am not the doer of this, I am not the creator of this. You can say that this is not outside of me. Why? In a way, the people and this arrangement, people saw this arrangement and got into this arrangement. Is not outside what is Bhagavan. But that does not mean Bhagavan should take the blame, because Bhagavan doesn't have what Adi Shankara calls nairgrinya dosha, partiality and hatred towards people. Bhagavan doesn't have. Anybody has nairgrinya dosha, the fallacy of hatred and partiality, that cannot be understood. That person is not Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is free of that. Adi Shankara points out right here in the Bhashya itself. So that not being there, then we can say that these divisions were kind of are organically there in every society based on duties and karma and then guna. If we look at the guna, then we have many different combinations. You can have people in whom sattva is predominant, rajas comes next, and then what? Tamas comes later. In proportion. Sattva, let's say 80%, rajas 60%, and then like that you can just sort of assign the percentages. So like that we can say that. Or so those are called Brahmanas, because if that much sattva is present in a person, then that person definitely is accommodative, helpful, and has a tendency to study and want to know more. The mind is free to gain knowledge. Such a person is interested in knowledge of the Veda, of anything, of higher pursuits, spiritual knowledge, etc. So such a person is called Brahmana. And then what is the other combination? Sattva first, then Tamas, then Rajas. Okay? Sattva first, and then, Rajas first, and then Sattva, and then Tamas. That would be a very active person. Since Sattva is predominant, second guna there, such a person would be fighting for a just cause. Such a person would be what is called a warrior, Kshatriya, protector. Then we have Rajas first, Tamas, and then last Sattva. Such a person would be highly ambitious and wanting to grow, and wanting to grow just for themselves, not spiritual growth but material growth. And then such a person is very good in business, like they want quick results. And then finally we have Tamas first, and then Rajas, and then Sattva. Such a person would be engaged in, would not be very introspective, would not have any desire to protect anything, would be engaged in more or less worldly activity. Whatever they need to do to bring home a paycheck, that is what they will do. So this is according to the gunas. These are the only 4 listable combinations. There are 2 other combinations which is not possible. What are they? Sattva, Tamas, Rajas, not possible. And then Tamas, Sattva and Rajas is also not possible, because between Tamas and Sattva together they cannot be there. They cannot coexist, because that would be difficult combination. We don't see that. So barring those 2 blocked combinations, these are the combinations based on guna. And then tomorrow we'll see, based on duty also, how these combinations express themselves in the occupations in the world. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.